Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to No Sweat. A third podcast, to me, in my head, now means that this is now a serious thing. If I go to a restaurant 3 times, that means I really like that restaurant. You know?
I think that if I go to a restaurant 3 times in a row, I'm not gonna get there the fourth time just because I get sick of it.
Yeah. But I think if you pace it out enough to where you let it almost be like a forgotten thing.
So do you think that 1 week is enough to be a forgotten thing?
1 week is enough for it to be a reminder. I feel like for me, not a forgotten thing, but it's a reminder of like, okay, I have this thing that I told myself that I would do. But if I was doing it every single day, I would definitely get bored of it. Not bored of it to the point where I would stop, but bored of it to the point where I would stop putting in like serious effort to make it something unique.
So what do you want to talk about first?
I think the thing that stands out in my head the most is definitely the election. It's only because I think all of America, for the first time in a long time, was like really banded together and watched this thing unfold that we all really had an emotional connection to the outcome, right?
It was like a roller coaster for sure.
It definitely was. And it wasn't a roller coaster because of the results. It was a roller coaster because of the opposing parties and what Trump was saying during the time that the votes were being counted. Him saying extremely reckless things without any proof, just saying out of feeling because he's not winning. And that, to me, is scary. It's scary because I know that there are people that actually follow him.
Yeah, it was so surprised to me that there was a lot of people who vote for Trump, and
I think it was 65 million.
I bet from the other side of the story, the people in the Republican Party also like look at the result and say, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that there's this much of people actually vote for Biden." So I just think that it is so surprised that the way our belief manipulate our thought.
Yeah. If people actually believe that nobody would vote for Biden, that would be absurd to say. Because Biden, in my mind, is the favorite to win because Trump has been so reckless.
Yeah, but if you are in the other side of the story, if you are from another party, then you're not gonna think so.
That's not
And
true
you're
because
gonna...
a lot of Republicans actually didn't agree with Trump in the things that he was saying.
Okay, so I think let me frame this better. Like, I think that the people who vote for him at least think that Biden gonna lose, or they gonna feel surprised when Biden actually win.
I think Biden was a clear-cut winner from the majority of America. Because I think the people who vote are people who actually kind of care about America in some way. And the representation of America was not true to Donald Trump.
Yeah, but you speak from the perspective of a person who support Democrat.
No, I don't care. I don't care about Democrats.
I'm sorry, who support Biden. But I'm just saying that the people who support Trump actually believe that he gonna win.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that thought he would win. And I bet a lot of the people that voted for him thought it would be harmless to have him be president. But I don't think any of those people who actually voted for him want bad things to happen in America.
I'm not an American by any means, but this election really affect me in a way, just because I just don't understand the reason why a lot of Vietnamese people currently living in Vietnam but support Trump. Like, they post a lot of posts on social media talk about how they want Trump to win this election, even though they haven't spent a day in America. Or some of them, I'm not sure, maybe they read a lot or something, but I'm sure that some of them not read as much to really know the true color of Trump. And I don't know why they support Trump. I'm sorry, I actually know why. So do you want to know why they actually support Trump in Vietnam?
I would love to.
So I'm not talking about the Vietnamese people who live in America. I'm talking about Vietnamese people who live in Vietnam. They support Trump because in politics we call them single issue voter, which is the people who only focus on this one issue that this person can solve. And in this specific situation, what he sell to the people in Vietnam is that he hates China. And he gonna do everything to stop China from bully our country, Vietnam. 70% of the Vietnamese people who live in Vietnam who were asked gonna vote for Trump if they can vote.
If they could. Yeah. That kind of exists in America, too. There's a lot of people who are single-issue voters when they vote on gun control. A lot of people that I know who own guns want the Republican side because Republicans usually push for, people who can own guns. And that's funny that Trump would tell Vietnam that he hates China, and then all of a sudden this coronavirus breaks out.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump's calling it the China virus. I hate that.
And I hate the fact that when Trump built the gold, it's actually like Chinese companies have him build it. I feel like Trump and China should have a good relationship at least, right?
I bet if he's storing tons of money in their banks like he has been.
Yeah, and he mentioned that he's a businessman, so he have money everywhere.
Yeah.
But I bet he not having Vietnam Dome.
Yeah, probably not. He built a golf course in China, his own golf course. But yeah, he hates them.
I don't know. I don't know if he actually hate them.
Well, he's
or
telling
he's
you
just
guys
trying
that
to
he
sell
does.
people that he hate them because he
gets
want
the
to take
support.
advantage of the single issue people, single issue voters. Sorry.
Yeah, but what does that matter? Is that just ego, you think? You think he's just doing that just for his own ego? Because their vote actually doesn't matter when it comes to being an American president.
I think those people not actually vote, but they are the influencer to the social media. And then the Vietnamese people who have some relationship with them and who live in America gonna vote for Trump.
Right.
Just because they think that, oh, this is the right thing to dedicate to my country.
It's a weird game. The politics of it all is real. You know,
It is so frustrated for me. I'm not able to vote. And I do love my country. And seeing the people in my country support for something that I don't support at all. Yeah, there's a lot of emotional. I blame the people who support him. Because I think that they might have their own reasons to do that, even though it's like single reason or multiple
I mean,
reasons.
they're still people, and people are allowed to have their own opinions. There's nothing wrong with supporting Trump, and I don't blame anybody for doing it because he's a very good businessman. He's closed a lot of deals because he's good at what he does. He's good at swindling. So I'm not surprised that he was able to swindle half of America, right? With his words and his cunningness and stuff. But I think as it goes on, if people all look back at it, will they say, okay, that was a good move, like to vote for him? Like, what did we really get out of him besides this controversy that's now in America? But enough about that. Enough about bad people. I want to talk about bad luck. Mm-hmm. Today is Friday the 13th.
Why we move from bad people to bad luck though? I thought that we're gonna go to good luck.
We'll end it on good luck.
Okay.
Today is Friday the 13th in 2020, which is already double scary.
Yeah,
Because-
double scary for sure.
Do you have any beliefs in bad luck? Like you do certain things, you will have bad luck?
Oh my gosh, I believe in that so much. Our country, we have a lot of one-sided belief like that. Like it's just unexplainable.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, so when you're on a ride, you should not use a comb to brush your hair because that means that bad luck gonna happen and the car gonna crash. Now saying it out loud, I feel like it's so stupid, but
Yeah.
we believe in that, and
I totally
I'm not gonna do
yeah.
that.
No, absolutely. We have crazy ones too. We can't walk under ladders. We can't walk by black cats. we can't accidentally break a mirror. Like we have all crazy things too.
Oh,
To drive in a car and not have to comb your hair, that's funny because
Yeah.
people do that in America all the time.
so you know what? The number 13, the thing that you just mentioned about the black cat and then the mirror,
Yeah.
all come from the Greek myth. You know that?
No. So what
It's very
about Greek
interesting.
myth?
That's all the belief system in Greek myth.
Greece.
That's
yeah.
why it's like influence all of our country.
Mm,
They actually invent the mirror. You know that?
wow.
So they think that the mirror capture your soul. So they believe that if your inflection in the mirror is distorted, when the mirror is broken,
Yep.
your soul gonna be trapped in that mirror
Wow.
for 7 years.
Wow, that's crazy.
So
that's
that's why-
where we get that from. I saw this thing online that it was a magician and he bought this thing that was called a true mirror.
Whoa.
So when you look into a mirror, you see the opposite reflection of what you see. So your left eye is your right eye and your right eye is your left eye. And when you look into a mirror, right? This is a true reflection mirror. So when you look at it, you actually see yourself as you are. So you can.
Wow.
You ever try to look in a mirror and
That's
you
crazy.
try to look at both of your eyes at the same time?
Yeah.
You can't do it. In this mirror, you can.
Yeah.
You can look at yourself, and it's like a freaky thing. And I thought it was actually really interesting.
Wow, that's crazy.
Did you see that challenge online where people take the mirror effect on the camera, so they cut half of their face and they make their left face doubled,
Yeah.
and then they cut instantly back
Yeah.
to what their actual face looks
Yeah, I
like, and
saw
it's like
that.
all off.
Yeah, I
It's
saw that.
crazy. I wonder if all of our faces are actually distorted.
Yeah, it just show the reality that all of us are imperfect.
And that's the beauty of us.
That's the balance. Imperfect has this
Has to-
balance.
yeah, yin and yang, the good and the bad. So
I don't know if it's good and bad though. Like maybe it's not good, not bad. It just the balance.
yeah, I was saying that more as like an emphasis on the opposites. Because that's what balance is. It's just two different opposites, just like our democracy.
Yeah, that's so
Two
true.
different sides of the scale.
Yeah, but maybe that keep this country balanced, I guess.
For sure. Because if it was all one way, everybody would freak out. We, as Americans, we don't like to feel like we're closed in a box and told this is the way we think. Even though we're already told how to think, we just don't realize it. We still think that we have control, or we don't.
Yeah, I just feel like maybe there's actually no party. In the end of the day, it is just the class, how rich you are,
Yes.
how many money you have.
Because that's accurate in every single type of government. If you're wealthy, you live by your own rules and standards. If you're just an everyday person, you get told what to do.
So again, rich and poor is another yin and yang in this particular topic.
Yeah, I wonder what it would be like to be rich.
Me and Thủy heard about this person, like it's our friend. His grandma talked to some of us and mentioned that you guys don't think that rich people like us also suffer? We suffer even more to get here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe that you suffered more. Because I think suffering truly is keeping yourself where you don't feel you belong. That's the true suffering. So do you think a rich person actually struggles because they took themselves out of that?
Yeah, I think again, as you know, the yin and yang, even though they are different in color, they have the same shape. So like, doesn't matter how rich you are, how poor you are still human, and you are in the body. And so you have emotions. Your emotion control your feeling of being suffering.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I love that. It's a good point. So did you have anything in particular that you want to get sweat out?
Not really sweat out. I just want to share just normal stuff at work. So we have a channel every day. There's a person have to ask a random question to the group of people at work. So today there's a person asked us like, Wata Colada, what is a movie that you recently watched? So there's a lot of good suggestion. And I mentioned with them that me and my boyfriend watched the Queen's Gambit.
The Queen's Gambit, yeah.
Yeah.
The show about chess.
I mean, yeah, it's about chess, but I think it's not talk technically
It's
about
based
chess.
it's based around chess, but it has its own story outside of chess.
The other day, I thought that if they completely change the topic, like they change it to any other type of sport, then the movie still makes sense.
Right.
Right?
They can actually switch it to almost anything and it would still make sense.
Exactly.
The way that they told the story was great. I saw an interview with the director. He made the show to focus on the girl, not to focus on what she was doing. Like, they displayed a lot of things that she was going through, and she was amazing at chess. She was better than any of the men that existed in the 1960s.
Yeah.
And it's not a true story. This is extremely fictional because women could never beat men in anything sports related, right?
I feel
I was saying that to cause a debate, not for you to agree with me. You agree?
I agree with you that people believe so, but I don't agree with you that that is a reality. You know what I mean? Like, people do believe that some sport were born for the masculine, the man in the society. That's what people believe, and I agree that there's some people believe on that. But I disagree that we have to use gender to discriminate which sport is like
is
for
right
which.
for who. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think women and men should be open for all sports. I just don't think they should be playing together.
Why?
Maybe not now. Men, we've had a head start when it comes to sports. Women were not allowed to like leave the house like less than 100 years ago. Well, probably 100 years ago. But mostly men like did everything, right? So when sports like came around, like that was a man's sport. Like, women ain't allowed to do that. Only recently did women's sports like really become like almost on the same level as far as like ability. Women and men are like told to be different.
So my question is, how about the transgender people? Like, if they trans, like, so which team should they play for?
Whatever
at that
team they
point?
switch into.
But they have the physical ability of the other gender, just like what you said. I truly believe that all genders should play with each other. No, I shouldn't. I don't think so though.
Yeah,
Now think back about it, I don't think so because
Yeah.
like we wasn't born with that physical ability.
Imagine a woman, even the greatest woman MMA fighter, fighting a mid-level MMA fighter who's not the champion. That still would not be fair.
Yeah, I think I should frame it better. I feel like some of them, for example, chess, like
Well,
women can
chess
play
is interesting
with men.
because chess isn't a physical sport.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is like the sport does not depend on the physical ability.
Right.
Then we should play all together,
Yeah.
all genders.
Like I enjoy playing chess. I play chess a lot. I'm only rated 1800. As a man, for me to even get what's called a grandmaster level, which is the highest level, you have to be like 2800. And the difference between 1800 and 2800 is like miles different. Like you like know the ins and outs of everything if you're 2800. If you're a woman to be a grandmaster, 2300.
Oh,
It's 500 points less.
okay.
But to me, it's insulting to say, okay, as a woman, you've reached your peak when you're 2300. You can't think any further. Whereas us men, we can think all the way to level 3000.
And there's so many type chess too. Do you know you just play one type chess, right?
There's tons of different types.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm asking you. You only play one type, right?
No, I play a few.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's a few. There's chess 960, there's crazy house chess. There's
Yeah, the Chinese chess too. You know that?
never played that one.
But you know that, right? It
Mhm.
have the chess. It have the Chinese letter.
Is it the ones where they're on a star? It's like in a star
On-
board.
No.
Oh, it's just circles, right?
Yeah, own circle,
Mm-hmm.
and then it have the letter on it.
Yeah, I've heard that game is older
Yes, much older.
than chess itself.
Yeah, the chess I think is the improvement of that one
Yeah,
without the Chinese letter, so it is more like global use.
yeah. They were saying like one of the best chess players was saying to be the best at Chinese chess, it would take probably 100 years to master the game, and nobody would probably live that long to be able to have the mental focus to figure it out. I've never seen it played. I've just heard it's very difficult.
Yeah.
I like chess though. It's a very stimulating game. Makes me think.
How far you are from being a grandmaster?
I'm way too far from a grandmaster. In like maybe 500 more points, I can be a FIDE master or an international master. They said to be a grandmaster, you have to study chess probably like at least 4 to 8 hours a day.
Wow.
Every day. That's a job.
Yeah.
No thanks. My brain gets exhausted if I play for like 3 hours.
Do you know that people also say that to be good at anything, you have to spend 10,000 hours?
I've heard that. What does that break down to in days? What's 10,000 hours in days?
10,000 hours in days is like,
Yeah, I think it's like 2 years or something.
yeah, 2 years
2 or
straight.
3 years. Let me see.
But we spend like 8 hours a day to sleep already. So just count 8 hours per day. So you will have the exact number.
3.5 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Just that?
Just that? 10,000 hours, 3.5 years? You spend 3.5 years every single day practicing something? Every day. That's including Saturdays and Sundays. But I think certain people can pick up. I think that's for you to master something. I think
No. It's just good at.
No, that's for you to figure it out. Like truly,
Yeah, good.
truly understand.
Good at it. Yeah.
Yeah. To truly understand it. But I think a lot of people make accurate moves like along the way that show them the trajectory of like where they could go if they kept doing it.
And it's also based on a lot of things. Like it's also based on the teacher. I'm not saying like teacher at school, but like teacher in life. If you actually work with good people, you can learn much faster. So talking about sport, what is your talking about sport? What is your favorite sport?
I think my favorite is probably football. I think
Why don't you play though?
I would love to play flag football, but football to me is just like hitting each other just isn't cool. Like we should be able to play the game. The game itself is fun. The getting hit part and having to hit somebody else isn't fun. Like for me.
Yeah.
Like I like the aspect of the game.
Why don't you guys like soccer?
Soccer?
Yeah.
Everybody loves soccer. I just don't like soccer.
I don't think so. American people don't love soccer.
Not as much because we have other sports, you know? Like America's pastime is baseball. And then only recently, probably in the past 20, 30 years, football has become like the number one sport. Yeah, soccer just isn't as entertaining. I went to one soccer game where it was like the American whatever team, and I actually fell asleep like during the game.
Yeah, because American people don't play soccer as much as good, to be honest.
Yeah. I just think the fun part about watching a game is like seeing another team like score, you know? Like who can score the most points. Soccer, you can have a game where it's like 1-0 and you got to see one team score one time.
Yeah.
And the rest of that was just like defense. I like the scoring aspect of it.
Yeah, but I feel like the American football is a little bit violent.
Very violent. Very violent. So is fighting. Fighting's the same way.
Yeah, but I'm trying to compare with the soccer though.
Yeah. There's more longevity in soccer for sure. And you stay in incredible shape when you play soccer. Soccer is just running. How much endurance do you have?
The technique too. There's a lot of technique.
Yeah, to be able to use your feet and move around is crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think like that. I drove a stick shift car, and that was like the most impressive thing I've ever done with my feet.
Riding a bike is the most impressive thing that I have done with my feet.
Yeah, move it in a circle.
Yeah.
And balance.
Yeah.
Walking. I think it's impressive when I just walk up the stairs. I'm like, hey, look at me.
Oh my gosh.
My knees are still working.
Yeah. That's why we lose all of our muscle.
Well, that and working from home every day, like not having a gym open or anything. I'm not a big gym goer. I used to be, but not now. Like sitting on the couch with chips is probably like, yeah, that's the only crunches I'm doing.
Yeah. I'm thinking, do you think that there's any person out there that actually listen to all of our podcasts?
Do I think there's a person that's listening to all of our podcasts?
Yeah.
No. I think even in my favorite podcast that I have, which is Joe Rogan, any random episode that I stumble on, I'll listen to. But I can tell you I've not listened to all of them.
Yeah.
And we've only done 3. So obviously, like, if we're considering, like, parents and, like, close friends and family to us that actually give a shit about what we're doing, yes, those are the ones that are listening. Are you asking about random people? You think there's a random person out there who has listened to all of our podcasts?
Yes. And if you are here, even if you are our friend, our family, or just a stranger, thank you.
Mm-hmm. But babe, I hate to break it to you, but the last podcast that we posted had 25 views, and probably 6 of them was you and me. So
that's okay. I mean, I don't care.
I doubt there's a random person. I mean, the cool thing about podcasts is that we're recording this today, but this will still be there
forever.
In a year from now.
Forever.
And forever. Well, I mean, we can always delete it.
But we're not gonna do that.
Well, we might.
No.
You never know.
No.
But I think this is a diary post.
Yeah, that's
of
so
like
true.
Of like where we are and what we're thinking about. If we continue to do this every single week, a year from now, we'll probably be like, I don't know, we'll have this down.
Yeah. The other day, I thought the same thing. I think that if we do this 1 year straight, we're gonna have 48 podcast episodes.
That'd be cool.
Wow, that's gonna be so cool.
Imagine that number.
Listen to them.
Yeah. I am the most curious about listening to podcasts that we've posted in the past, like 5 years from now. Right? And hearing how you speak now and how you'll speak then.
And then you're gonna laugh at me, laugh at my
Babe,
past?
I never laugh at you. When do I ever laugh at you?
Come on.
Because I'm laughing at it with you. I'm not making fun of you sometimes when you say certain things. But I never laugh at you. because I know you're learning.
You not laugh at my language, yes, but sometimes you laugh at things.
Yes, because some things that you say are funny, like when you mistake certain things, right? Like when the first time I heard you say "what the fuck," like that was like, whoa, hey.
When I say ginger,
Ginger. Yeah, today we were at the store and she said, "Oh, can you grab the ginger ice cream?" I was like, "The what?" What'd you call me?
I didn't want a ginger ice cream. I just want you
Ginger.
to move it.
Both of them make
Yeah.
the same sound. Ginger.
Yeah, I just want you to move the ginger
Yes.
ice cream so that I can grab the matcha one.
The what? The mocha?
Matcha.
Matcha?
Yeah.
What's matcha?
You don't know what matcha is?
No.
Like the tea. Japanese matcha.
Oh.
Matcha
cool.
latte?
Yeah.
Oh my
Mocha
gosh.
latte?
No, it's matcha.
MOCHA?
Babe, come on. That's mocha.
Okay. I'm just asking.
You don't know matcha?
No.
MATCHA?
Oh no. Yeah, that's matcha. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a tea drinker. Why are you trying to high five me? I don't get it. What did I do?
Because you wrong one, I wrong one.
Yeah. Oh, we're keeping score now. Yay, we're even. Man, my brain's like not working today.
That's okay. My brain is working. So we just need one of us or both of us.
We only have one tire spinning. That doesn't make a car move. You gotta have both tires moving.
Why do we need to move though? We can just take a rest.
So one tire take a rest while the other one carries the load.
All of them take a rest at the same time.
Then we'll just have a silent podcast.
Yeah, it's just your metaphor. I don't think that we always have to move.
I don't. You lost me.
You say that one tire stop and one tire move doesn't make the car move, right? So what I'm trying to say here is we are not necessarily always have to move. The car can park and stop for a little while to recharge. And then
And I was using that in a metaphor for the podcast. So are you saying that both, because my tire's not moving, that we should just stop the podcast right now? And now we're back.
Just kidding, guys. Yeah, talking about podcasts, I just feel like there's something that I really, really have to learn. And I appreciate that this podcast gonna help me learn that, which is respect and trust the process.
That's something you feel you need to learn?
Yeah. And I also feel like this podcast gonna help me to actually learn that lesson.
The podcast is an embodiment of really putting time into something and letting it develop and trusting that it will.
I feel like trusting the process is so important to young people like us when we just want to see the final result.
I can tell that that's something that you kind of struggle with. Like
I think any of us struggle with.
I think we definitely do. But I think you're a unique case because you actually have the ability, and I'm not talking about like the smartness. I'm talking about like the drive that you have inside of yourself to push yourself to do something. Not a lot of people have that, like to the level that you do. Like when I see you work and I see you do anything, like you always embed yourself into that thing to figure it out. But you always do that for a lot of things, but never truly dedicated to one full thing, right?
Mm-hmm. And I also feel like maybe I'm myself, so I don't feel the same way that you feel about me.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make sense?
Yeah.
I just feel like that's so normal to do that.
It absolutely is.
So I always question people when they don't do the same thing.
Yeah. And that's what's interesting. Like you've owned a business, you've started making documentaries, you've done a lot of things that on a normal person's scale is impressive, right?
But I feel nothing.
You don't feel like it's that impressive because it's something that you know that you can do, right? So it's a lot of others, like when someone's impressed by something, they're impressed by something that they feel like they couldn't achieve, right? So...
But I think that it's just because you love me, so you impressed by something that I have done. But if I'm just a stranger on the street and I tell you about what I have done, you might not be that impressive.
Well, I think that comes with not knowing the person and not believing them. Like, even if a homeless person came up to me and told me their life story and told me about all those things that they accomplished prior to becoming homeless, I'd be impressed by it. Mm-hmm. Like, if they said, oh, I owned a big business and then it closed and I lost everything and my wife left me and now I'm homeless. Like, I would be impressed by the things that they accomplished before all those bad things happened. So yes, it is because I love you, but also you've done some things, and I think you should give yourself credit. And I think that's something that you don't do enough of. Credit is deserved when you put in a lot of hard work, and just not from the people that you're doing the hard work for, because I think ultimately you're doing the hard work for yourself. So who's Hung's boss in Hung's head? Nobody except Hung. So she needs to give herself some damn credit. Like you were telling me the other day, and I don't know if you're cool with me saying this, but you told me the other day that doing something for the third time, like the third podcast, means something to you, because at that point it's real.
Yeah.
And you said you don't think anybody would pay attention because you've always started something and not continued it. So it's like, oh, here she goes, starting something new again.
To be honest with you, I feel like things that I do for myself, I don't do it constantly. You know, like when I go to work, I can work 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
That's no problem.
Right.
But for me, just do something for myself. For example, like doing a vlog, doing something that I really like, or just like cook something and just cook for myself, something like that. I just do it some days.
Right.
I feel good, and then I feel like, oh, this is worthless. This is not gonna contribute anything for me as a professional.
You're talking about as a working professional?
Yeah. So now I realize that it doesn't contribute anything to me as a professional, but it definitely contribute to me as a person. I should have like done it more.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's already a little bit late.
I think doing something for yourself is only going to benefit you more in life, because at some point you're not going to work anymore. And what will you have left? Not much, because you haven't dedicated enough time to thinking about you in this moment. Like, working is working. I don't think working ever unless you're doing like crazy things or you're making a lot of money that allow you to do things for yourself. But to be just an average worker,
yeah, I think I don't want to put money in this, because money is just a bonus factor of a job. I also feel like there's some passion and there's some love involved in a job. I mean, maybe it's not something that you are experiencing, but to me it's truly something that I experienced before.
yeah.
So I know that sometimes working can also be living, like a life that you choose, the path of life.
I think for me there's a fence between passion and professional. I think my passions, I want to keep away from making them work. They're something that I want to enjoy, and work is frustrating for me.
Yeah.
Like for something that to make me money so I can live is enough stress for me to not like that thing anymore. Like, that's what ruined me for film. I went to school for it, and the first job like I ever did, I told myself, I'm not having fun with this. Like, this isn't fun. There's like rules and like things I have to do while I'm here. I can't just like have fun.
But do you agree with me that it's just a different mentality
Totally.
between people? Like, you believe so doesn't mean that me or some other people
Feel that way.
believe in a opposite way.
Right. Yeah, that's the beauty of being human. Everybody has their own lifestyle.
that's
I'm
what
not saying you're wrong.
No.
It's just something that I can point out.
Yeah, I also don't think that you think that I'm wrong. I'm just thinking that for me, like, I truly feel like I can enjoy working, and even if one day I have to stop working, the passion and the love that I spend for the job still stay with me. But I'm just not sure that the jobs that I'm working right now at this exact moment and for the past 3 years is actually something that I love. I'm still questioning, and I question a lot, so please don't judge me.
Yeah, nobody judges anybody. A lot of people, even in their early 20s, go through a lot of career changes before they figure out what they're going to do for a long time. I don't judge. Judging is just comparing, I think. To live and let live. That's my favorite motto. Live yourself and let other people live too. I think for you, you're not going to be happy until you work for a company that has like purpose, that has a meaning and a statement and a face, and like they're making societal changes with their improvements to whatever they're doing. It's improving society. I think that's a company that you need to work for, because you can get behind that.
I thought so too. If you say this a year ago, I will 100% say that I agree with you. But now, I'm actually questioning myself because I'm working for a company that have like a true belief, true impact that they are making for the society. But there's still something inside me that's missing. So I do feel like there might be something that I have to searching from the inside.
Yeah, I think you can't go ahead and judge like your company that you work for now against what you believe and think, oh, well, I'm here and this must not be it. No, I don't think that's accurate. I think if your company was on a very, very large scale to where you can actually see the difference in the world around you, then you would feel that you belong. I'm not saying that the company you're working for isn't making changes. They are, just not on an extreme scale to where it's like you walk outside and see, oh, wow, look at everyone's better now because of this. The company you work for is still very new in where it is and what it's trying to do, which is an energy company.
I just feel like maybe there's something that I have to search from my inner self instead of actually looking at the company or something around me.
I don't think you're at your last step yet. I think you have a lot of stairs left to step on to get to the top. I don't think any step that you take in the near future is going to be your last one. As long as you can keep looking up and making sure that you continue to climb, that's what I want to be important. I don't want you to look at how far you've come and say, wow, look how far I've come. I guess this is it. And now I guess I have to start walking back down. No, I don't want that. I think you will find the right job.
How many steps I'm going to climb or how far, I do feel like I have to learn to respect and trust the process.
Right.
So yeah, just back to the point that what I'm missing and what I have to learn. And that's something that I hope that I can learn from this podcast. Not only learning, but also practicing. Practicing to be able to feel the moment that I'm in, to feel own as oneself.
So let's make a promise to continue to trust the process, to continue practicing, and continue striving for what we want in living in the moment.
To you, Cody Rodriguez, and to you, all of the listeners, I promise.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you, guys. No sweat.